Napoli is one of Europe's most diverse and fascinating cities, and an intriguing place to travel to. Often misunderstood, this Italian city offers some of the country's most beautiful architecture, spectacular historic sites, incredible food, captivating traditions, and above all, a friendly, welcoming people. Located in the beautiful Campania region, Napoli, or Naples, has a distinctly different character from most other Italian cities. In this video, I'm exploring the streets of Napoli and its surroundings. From the vibrant narrow alleys of the old city center to the imposing churches and cathedrals. From historic palaces and castles to mysterious underground tunnels. And from ancient archaeological sites under the shadow of Mount Vesuvius to one of Italy's most beautiful stretches of coastline. So join me on this journey through Napoli and beyond. Arriving in Napoli can feel overwhelming, especially if you choose to stay in the narrow streets and alleys of the historic center. This is the beating heart of Napoli, rough around the edges but full of life, with welcoming smiles and a generous, open attitude. The homes here are small, but the families traditionally big, meaning that the theater of daily life often plays out on the streets.
Ciao!
Benvenuto a Napoli.
Forza Napoli!
Napoli's origins date back almost 3,000 years, when the Greeks founded a first settlement, which was later renamed as Neapolis, or New City. Roman emperors and Spanish conquest influenced the city, but Napoli also enjoyed moments of independence before it became part of a unified Italy in 1861. Interestingly, the layout of the old city center still resembles the original Greek-Roman city plan, with the famous Spacca Napoli cutting right through its core.
Vieni a vedere! Il pezzo del mercato, 5 euro costa questo. Questo è Moncler, cara, guarda! La promozione della domenica, 2 euro!
The character of Neapolitans today is deeply rooted in their past, and most people live by the idea of carpe diem, seize the day. The constant presence of Mount Vesuvius, one of the most dangerous volcanoes in the world, is a stark reminder that life can be unpredictable. And while Napoli's reputation as a loud, unpolished place with economic problems and a mafia influence bears some truth, it is mostly a vibrant, dynamic city with an authentic character and warm, friendly people. Wandering the streets, absorbing the sights and sounds, you can feel the energy flowing through the city. And then there is the food. Steeped in culture and history, the Campanian cuisine is among the best in Italy. And much of it can be sampled in Napoli. Blessed with plenty of sunlight, yet enough water, and rich volcanic soil, many argue that the products in this region taste just a bit better than elsewhere. Combine this with centuries of foreign influence and a mentality of honoring traditions, and you get a mouth-watering culinary melting pot. A great way to explore this side of Napoli is by joining a tour. Local guides take travelers on a food journey through the city.
Welcome to Naples. I am your guide for today. My name is Roberto, and I will introduce you to Naples, to its history and especially its food.
So as Roberto just explained, we're going to explore these streets, but mostly focusing on the food. So let's go.
Ricotta cheese, fried pizza dough.
Buon appetito! Only to realize I'm just starting to eat. It was already quite heavy, but also very tasty.
Carne bordo, la burger? No, carne.
Allora hai sentito?
L'articolo non è obbligatorio allora.
One of the pillars of the Neapolitan kitchen is by now also one of the world's most popular. This is the home of the pizza, the place where it was invented and perfected.
Ciao, un bacio da Lino.
Although foods similar to pizza had been made for centuries, it took until the 19th century before the classic margherita pizza was introduced. Based on the colors of the Italian flag, red tomato, white mozzarella and green basil, this version was happily approved by then Queen Margherita and became a staple food in Napoli. Today you can find pizzerias on every street corner, with some reaching celebrity status.
One, two, three.
If you want to find out more about the Neapolitan and Italian kitchen, I highly recommend joining a cooking course.
Questa si chiama pettola napoletana.
Local home cooks, such as Anna here, open their doors to share their passion and expertise of famous Italian dishes, like pasta and tiramisu. It's a fun way to learn more about Italy's food culture and family life.
Okay? My mother is the critic.
Yes. And she likes it? Do you like it?
Do you like? Ti piacciono? Molto. Allora, ok.
Good.
No, poor man.
Now, many of the tours that you see me doing here are actually sponsored by Get Your Guide, a travel platform that offers over 60,000 curated experiences worldwide. Their global network of local knowledgeable experts help you navigate your way through more than 3,600 destinations. They don't just offer tours and guides, but also entry tickets, skip-the-line services, and many other activities. Booking through Get Your Guide is very easy with an app that allows you to download and access your tickets without printing required, whether you book from home or actually on the road. Every experience contains detailed information and you can read reviews from fellow travelers, making sure you pick something that actually suits you. And good to know, they offer 24/7 support and free cancellations up to 24 hours before the start of your tour. You can find more information and a 10% discount on all Get Your Guide tours in the link below.
Ciao, grazie. Prego, non te lo posso poi, grazie, a piedi deve pagare.
Neapolitans appreciate a cup of hot, strong espresso, and many argue the best Italian coffee is brewed here. Whether you drink it at home, in a restaurant, or standing in one of the many neighborhood bars and cafes, it's a great way to start your day, finish a meal, or simply enjoy an afternoon break.
Solo a Napoli lo sanno fare.
One special place to sip your espresso is in downtown Napoli. This small bar has turned into an unofficial shrine to Diego Maradona, and even displays one of his hairs. Football in Napoli is big, and that's an understatement. People from all layers of society embrace the football culture, and many argue it's part of the city's identity. When Maradona came to Napoli in the 1980s, he was welcomed as a messiah, bringing justice, hope, and also titles and championships to a city that was struggling on many fronts. Today, you will see his face all around Napoli, such as here in the historic Spanish Quarter, where an entire street corner is dedicated to his legacy. And the city stadium, quite appropriately, is named after him. Even though it is empty, it's still quite special to be here. The stadium where Maradona played many memorable moments for many people around the world. Wow. Maradona, however, is not alone in receiving a saint-like status. Neapolitans have a long-standing tradition of mixing the Catholic religion with a complex combination of rituals, myths, legends, and miracles. Superstition plays a big part in everyday life, and this can come in many forms. In the impressive Chiesa del Gesù Nuovo, for instance, you can see people touching the hand of the statue of Giuseppe Moscati. This doctor and professor was known for his charity work in the early 20th century, and many claim he was a miracle worker, curing diseases that were considered impossible. Many churches, like the massive Duomo Cathedral, are architectural masterpieces. With extravagant decoration, detailed frescoes, and an imposing character. Other, smaller churches, like the Pezzentella Souls Church, are worth a visit for their story. Here, anonymous remains of people that passed away in the 17th century are adopted and cared for, believing this will help their souls to reach a good place in the afterlife. Walking through central Napoli, one should not forget to rub the nose of Pulcinella, a famous figure in Neapolitan puppetry, for good luck. And pay attention to the corno, a red horn that is said to deflect negative influence of the so-called evil eye. You will find it all around the city, especially in the Via San Gregorio Armano. This picturesque alley is filled with workshops and stores, offering handmade souvenirs inspired by the nativity scene, but also miniature versions of saints, mythical figures, and contemporary celebrities. And as you continue your way through the city, make sure to look up sometimes to discover beautiful murals. From the city's most important patron, San Gennaro, to the actor-comedian Toto and the mysterious Isaida. Meant to honor feminine, creative power. And then there are the buildings themselves. From grand churches and tranquil monasteries to imposing palaces and mysterious castles. Napoli's architectural diversity resembles its rich history. And walking through the different neighborhoods can feel like visiting an open-air museum. The historic center is filled with architectural gems, including hundreds of churches and cloisters. One of my personal favorites is the Complesso Monumentale di Santa Chiara. This medieval religious complex offers colorful frescoes, Angevin porticos, and peaceful walkways and gardens. It also has a small but interesting archaeological museum and excavated ruins of a 1st century bathing house. Move towards the San Ferdinando district and you enter a different era. From the 19th century Gallery Umberto I, a beautiful arcade now used as a shopping gallery, to the city's largest square, the Piazza del Plebiscito, where you find the lavish Palazzo Reale, the royal palace. This 16th century monument houses a spectacular collection of neoclassical and Baroque rooms, and even a private theater. For a different perspective, go to the hilltop district of Vomero, with the attractive San Martino Monastery and the massive Sant'Elmo Castle, where you can enjoy amazing views of Napoli and beyond. While a large part of Napoli's shores is occupied by the city's industrial port, the area west from the historic Castel dell'Ovo offers a charming piece of coastline. Here, the neighborhoods of Santa Lucia and Chaya provide a welcome break from the downtown hustle and bustle. With a tranquil boulevard, hidden beaches, bobbing fishing boats, and many restaurants. It's especially popular during weekends, when locals and tourists mingle along the waterfront promenade.
Yeah.
Much of Napoli can be explored on foot, but it's worth using the metro system, only if to admire some of the art in the beautifully designed stations. For our final stop in the city, we stay underground, but in a completely different context. Napoli has some of the world's most extensive subterranean cities, with secret alleys, forgotten burial chambers, and ancient aqueducts. Used throughout history for many different purposes, more than 700 places have been discovered since the Second World War, including the Bourbon Tunnels, San Gennaro's catacombs, and Napoli's Sotterranea. We are leaving Napoli and continue our journey to Mount Vesuvius, both a beautiful and fearful sight. This volcano is part of the volcanic Campanian Arch and is among the most active in the world. It is also very closely monitored, with over 500,000 people living in its danger zone. So I'm now walking up to Mount Vesuvius, the famous volcano that is overlooking Napoli, of course. It's a nice hike up, including a bus ride and train transfer as well. Vesuvius' most infamous eruption took place in 79 AD, devastating Roman cities like Pompeii and Herculaneum. The eruption was so massive that it destroyed the top of the volcano, creating 2 new peaks and a huge caldera. These days, Vesuvius is best explored on an organized tour. Note that it can get quite crowded, and entry tickets are limited to certain hours. Of course, the weather can change very quickly here. Sudden mist is coming in. The best known ancient city affected by Vesuvius' violent 79 AD eruption is Pompeii. Now walking through the streets of ancient Pompeii, not far from Naples. This is perhaps one of Europe's most impressive archaeological sites, as also one of the most tragic ones. Believed to have been a wealthy cultural and economic center for many years, the eruption practically erased the city within 2 days. While many people were able to escape, some were covered by a meter-thick layer of volcanic ash and pumice. In the years that followed, this tragedy was slowly forgotten, until the ruins of Pompeii were rediscovered in the late 16th century. Ironically, The layer of volcanic stone had protected much of the site, creating a unique snapshot of daily life in ancient times. Today you can walk the Roman streets of Pompeii and admire many of the private houses, shops, cafes and amphitheaters, mostly intact. Needless to say, Pompeii is now one of Europe's most popular archaeological sites, attracting millions of visitors per year. A smaller version of Pompeii, but not less spectacular. Herculaneum was both a fishing village and seaside retreat for the Roman elite. It suffered a similar fate when Vesuvius erupted, leaving the town in layers of volcanic mud.
Were freedmen who were taking care.
Unlike Pompeii, however, many parts of Herculaneum were carbonized, preserving wooden and organic objects like beds, roofs, papyrus, and even food. It's a fascinating place to wander around, imagining what life was like 2 millennia ago.
These beaches are private ones. We recognize the first port of Piano di Sorrento.
We give you few information about them, so in case you would like to come back, there is like we can see the typical white ones, but also red, pink, yellow.
We travel onwards to the Amalfi coast, one of Italy's most popular holiday destinations, and for good reason. This stretch of Mediterranean coastline is filled with imposing mountains, sheer cliffs, winding roads, and charming villages. Many visitors start their trip to this region in Sorrento, a small town with an atmospheric historic center, and considered a gateway to the Amalfi coast. Further along the shore lies Positano, arguably the most picturesque village in the area. Its setting is spectacular, with houses built on steep cliffs, surrounded by towering mountains. So I'm now in Positano, perhaps one of the most photographed places in the whole of Italy. It is quite photogenic, also quite touristy, but worth the effort. The region is named after its historic political center, Amalfi. This small town was once a thriving maritime hub, until most of it tragically disappeared into the Mediterranean during an earthquake in the 14th century. The impressive Arabic Norman cathedral survived and now stands at the core of this friendly village. We finish our journey to Napoli and beyond on the attractive island of Procida. The smallest of 3 islands in the Bay of Naples, Procida is less affected by tourism and retains much of its traditional character. So made it to Procida, a small island not far from Naples. A beautiful little place. Despite its size, it's remarkably diverse, with scenic vistas, black sand beaches, quiet fishing villages, historic buildings, and a laid-back atmosphere. that concludes my journey to Napoli and its surroundings, a surprising travel destination. With fascinating historic landmarks, important religious sites, vibrant street scenes, stunning natural landscapes, incredible food and friendly people. I realize I have only scratched the surface, and you could spend weeks, if not months, exploring this part of Italy. Yet I still hope this video gave you some travel inspiration, or at least provided a glimpse into this captivating region. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again next time. Travel safely.